Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Sagittarius. If Sagittarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's see what we have going on here tonight. All right, so we have two main groupings, right? I'm just gonna kind of pull this away. And I'm sorry I sound a little bit stuffy. We're get out of getting sick season, and now we're into allergy season. It's kind of out in the farmlands a bit, and all of the kind of turning up of that soil and things starting to grow. I just am getting a little bit stuffy. Okay. All right, let's see. So I want to go ahead and look at the card first. We have the Ace of Swords. This is from the Thoth deck. If you've been here before, you know I usually use the Thoth deck. I used to kind of use some different ones. I might try that again, maybe the next cycle. We'll see. I don't know. I used to not be the biggest fan of the Thoth deck, to be honest with you, but it has grown on me. It feels like I relate to it deeply. My personal deck that I use is the Ancient Italian. That's the name of it, and it's from that, I think it's called Los Scarborough. I might be saying that wrong. Anyways, that's the deck I use for myself, and you know, I'm a little superstitious, so I don't like to use that for public stuff. But I have a bunch of other decks that maybe I will pull one out and try something else. Anyways, let's get to it. Excuse me. So the Ace of Swords, we know that this is all about cutting away at the unnecessary, getting directly to the point, to the core of things. Very much about intellectual pursuits, creative pursuits, you know, how these things can be manifested, begin the process of using them for financial gain, kind of that process of birthing those concepts into something kind of in the middle there somewhere until we get into that more earthy energy. And definitely very much about the kind of emotional aspects of this is how I relate to it, especially in kind of this kind of story that's been emerging for me about Sagittarius. But the Ace of Swords really is kind of this energy of, we have been cutting away at things that were holding us back. This is kind of that, it's that channel that is going to help continue to move you forward to, sorry, Okay, I thought I heard heard something. To move you forward to in the process of transmutation. Okay, using those emotional energies to activate different parts of the self so that you can continue to shed and cultivate at the same time. It is a beautiful balance, but it is also this very kind of singular and powerful current that is running through your life right now. And, you know, I think that to maybe somebody on the outside or somebody who has lost their ability to kind of profit from your labor, your emotional support, your you know, attention. And of course, you know, Sagittarius, you are very much doers and carers and detail oriented, so capable. If I were going to go into business with somebody or a group of people, I would definitely want somebody like a Sagittarius, heavily a heavily placed Sagittarius to really be the one that is helping get things going administratively, but also just kind of delegating and being able to kind of be in a position of support, right? Making sure that people, kind of a supervisor type role, overseer, and but also doing the actual meaty part of the work as well. I mean, you all are just amazing. I've never met a Sagittarius that wasn't somebody that was like working hard in all sectors of their life, really. Probably overworked. But in this reading, I already see that we have two people here. We have one kind of standing here in the head, and then we have another standing here and kind of turned in towards this person. Okay, so this is kind of a posture of acceptance, of being open, of being tender, the beginning of maybe kind of a unification, and together they make a heart. Okay, so I think that this is less about probably two physical beings, two corporeal beings coming together and being in a relationship. In my mind, because of all of these other things that have been going on, your strong abilities that at times had been, you know, taken advantage of, finding your power, cutting those things away, and deciding, you know, you're going to be living for your own benefit to a large degree, a larger degree anyways, because it's in your nature to be very helpful to others, to be of service to others, but not to be taken as a fool, okay? And so, excuse me, we find ourselves in this situation where there's been a bit of room created in your life, okay? And I think that within this room, there is really this kind of movement towards self-unification, this concept in the Jungian sense. This would be something like unification with the anima or animus. In alchemy, this would be something like the sacred marriage, the chemical wedding, the hieros, and depending on what school of thought you're in, this is kind of the wedding of the kind of mother goddess, the goddess of fertility. This would be something like Inanna or Ishtar, being wed to a agricultural god. And it's slipping my mind with the Mesopotamian. I know it starts with a D, and I would butcher the name anyways. But anyways, in the physical, there are rituals, or there were rituals, and now in the Reconstructionist kind of religious groups or cults or whatever, these rituals are played out still, and we see that there is a high priestess and a priest, and they enact this wedding ceremony and so on, the copulation, and maybe, I don't know, but I've never seen or partook, so only read. I don't know what what actually happens, but so anyways, the point of this really is that you are coming to yourself, parts of yourself. There's this idea of two opposites, the solar, lunar coming together and birthing the star, the third, and because of really consciously where we are collectively, but also within esoteric thinking, I don't really think that it is fair to anymore express so much that the opposites are gendered, biological or otherwise, but really just kind of these feminine and masculine qualities. Although, you know, in some years, I'm interested to see how this kind of changes, what this paradigm kind of becomes, what the language kind of shifts into, if it will change at all. But I don't, you know, I guess classically it would be described as, if you are identify as a woman or feminine, you would be marrying yourself to the more masculine aspects. On the other hand, if you are more masculine or identify as male, you would be marrying yourself to the feminine or the goddess aspect of yourself. Okay, I don't know, maybe this is outmoded. I don't really know. Honestly, it's kind of very tricky, but what I do know is that this is very much about breaking down the barriers of these perceptions of self. Okay, becoming more fluid, not necessarily an identity. This is kind of very separate from all of that, and that's why it kind of becomes tricky. But I think really just being able to dwell in excuse me, explore parts of self that maybe are walled off and kind of looked at as, okay, this is a thing that this part of myself would do, this masculine part of myself. This is to this or to that for me, or these are behaviors, or you know, we've been conditioned in such ways that we kind of separate, we sort, we are beings that love to categorize and kind of compartmentalize different parts of self and all things, right? I love to organize things, so it just is really deeply ingrained in some of us. And so this is kind of like the dissolution of those boundaries and flowing more holistically and wholly, activating this larger sense of self, coming together into your power, which is not as limited as it maybe once had been. The other aspect of this, and this is maybe one of my favorite parts, is through this divine coupling, there is kind of this relationship with the eternal beloved, the consort. And for every different kind of person and practitioner, this might look very different. Some people maybe actually visualize, and this is not unlike possibly, anyways, from my estimation, something like Saint Teresa of Avila, her explanations and devotions of her marriage to the solar Christ, right? The ecstasy and beloved, or agape with her beloved, this endless and divine love that is without any kind of wanting or kind of underlying motive, okay? Because it is a love of God with God, it comes naturally. It's instinctive, okay? This is beyond necessity, beyond motivation, beyond timing or purpose, okay? None of these things apply to this kind of love. And that doesn't even seem to compute, really. Even somebody like myself who is obsessed with this idea and has spent a lot of time reading about it, studying it, trying to invoke it in different ways, it still seems kind of like something that almost doesn't make sense, right? It kind of seems like something that even might be made up. But it's like one of those things, like maybe once you stop pursuing it, that is when, that's when you get a hold of it, or it gets a hold of you. Excuse me again. Okay, so I think that this really, there is just a lot going on here. I feel that this interior door is opening wider, okay? There is a desire to begin again. There is a desire to love thyself and be devoted to your will, to your betterment, to your wellness, to have great sensations of love and clarity, and to be taken care of, and to be taken care of by your own heart, right? That is an unshakable kind of love, if we can ever venture to get there. So I feel that through this process, you are very much learning about the things that you do want, okay? But I also think from previous experiences, you have seen in life, in how people have treated you, and people who have been your role models, and so on. What do you what you do not want, what you do not want in a relationship, what you do not want in a state of in a state of being, in the configuration of your own self-love and interior love. But also, and then this begins to hopefully, right, mirror into our physical world, into the mundane world. So then when we come to these places where we have learned to love ourselves on this very deep level, this unshakable level, where we have dissolved a lot of these walls and these preconceptions and conditionings and, just whatever, how could it not affect how you view the world, how you experience the world, and what you are willing to accept from the world and from others? Okay, I can't see a way that it would not change how you live and love and share yourself and share your time and your space and physicality. So I think that what this means to me, I turn this over and I see this, it looks like a bird, and it looks like it has these beautiful kind of arms and wings kind of up, and we have the little feet, and it really to me looks so much like a phoenix. Okay, maybe not the wings aren't as, you know, large and out like a hawk or an eagle or something, but it looks like a beautiful rising bird nonetheless. And so I do believe that there is really truly this energy of rebirth. There is this cycle of beginning again. And I really think that to honor this feeling, this sensation, this desire, this purpose, cultivating your own kind of ritual to honor it would be very beneficial. Doing something like a rebirth ceremony. I'm sure people still do them, like facilitate them. I know that at some point that they were really popular. I know this because I just, you know, I remember seeing like videos of them and just different kinds of little literature for retreats and things. But I think that you could also very much formulate your own rebirth ritual, if that includes other people or if this is something just for yourself. I think that, you know, ritual is important to every culture from the beginning of time, right? At least as soon as we were organized enough to begin to, you know, I guess have an idea of the mystery and, you know, and then have to figure it out, have these kinds of stories and actions that we kind of act out, these allegories and tales and such, so that we may ponder and experience through direct movement how these things make us feel. Because it is really one thing to read about it, to talk about it, to kind of contemplate it. But once you are doing it in a physical space, or even if you are working within a visual space, or maybe like in an astral or interior landscape, feels much different than kind of just, you know, reading it on a paper. So I think it's important to create your own rituals as often as you can, as often as you feel moved to do so. So I think this would be a great time to do that, okay? And I want to look at, this one is calling to me over here, and I want to just kind of see before we get to... Okay, so this one to me looks so much like a crow, okay? And it looks like it's kind of has a little arm in the wrong place, but follow me here. It looks like a crow and it's holding up some kind of flower, okay? And so today I saw crows, but today I saw a lot of grackles, and I am very in love with the grackles. They come and visit us for a while, and then they continue to migrate. But they are a most blessed, when they begin to arrive, it is, to me, a most blessed time. I love standing at the window and watching them. I love when we're out and in the world, and they're around all over the place. They are so beautiful. They're a blackbird with kind of a green iridescent head, and they just have a really interesting tail. It kind of fans out, and they're really beautiful. Go look them up if you've never seen them. And there's just so many of them. And what I found out is they actually also migrate with birds like European starlings and other blackbirds like the red-winged blackbirds. So you'll see huge groups of these different birds kind of cluttered together, and they're very beautiful, and they all kind of just get along with each other. But this one kind of reminds, I'm kind of grouping in my mind all of these together, because when I drive through kind of the rural areas outside of the cities and towns here, we see all kinds of these blackbirds just kind of sitting on the road waiting for something to come along for them to pick apart, or you know, they're eating bugs and things, a lot of crickets and field crickets and whatnot. But they just look like they know where they are, and they are so about their business and about themselves. It is such a I will see like often two crows together, but sometimes you'll just see like one way out there in a field just kind of digging around. And this is before anything's growing too much, right? It's just kind of turned up dirt. And it's just kind of this beautiful scene. It's very kind of an empty landscape, and there's a very solitary, strong, robust, graceful, sleek, beautiful bird, just kind of in its own world, going along with its day, doing its thing, knowing what it wants and needs, and, you know, probably will find it. And there's just such alignment with the greater universe witnessing something like that. I don't, you know, you don't feel the indecisiveness of a human looking at an animal like that. You don't feel like they are questioning, you know, their existence constantly. I don't know if they ask themselves if they're happy, you know, 4, 5, 10 times a day. And so there's just kind of this really strong peace that flows through, that kind of power that an animal, bird especially, has in our world. And they, you know, I don't know what it is. I love the birds. I just really, in my older age, I've become such a fan of watching them. I love watching their little social interactions and their movements. And you can, you know, as you watch them, you can see when the weather's gonna turn. You can see when they start feeding heavier, when things are gonna get colder, when they start to leave. You know, it's going to be hotter, or it's going to be, you know, turning into winter again, or, you know, whatever it is that they kind of, they foretell the future. They kind of divine, our immediate configurations, as we watch them. And I forget what it's called. I know I have a book on augury that talks about the birds, and anyways, it's very beautiful. And so I feel like in this formation, I see very much that you are so aligned with the universe, with yourself. You are becoming just this strong, well, let me move back a little here. You've always been very strong, okay? I think that you are believing in your own strength at this point. I believe that you are having a love affair with the universe through yourself. And I think nothing could be more divine. I think nothing could be more satisfying than that, than an experience like that. Okay, so I think that on the other side, well, not on the other side, I think that the other thing that I want to talk about with the birds is that, and we have some other birds here, and they look like they're all kind of in movement, right? They're here with their kind of bird tail, and they're flying this way. And here's one as well with his little wing right here. And so I think that maybe this is a good time to have some kind of, or at least begin to plan some kind of pilgrimage for yourself. What does that look like? I don't really know. Maybe there's somebody somewhere that feels sacred to you. Maybe there's a place that you grew up and you'd like to return to. Maybe there's a place that you've always felt drawn to visiting. It just feels like there might be something there that you need to witness or you need to experience. Whatever it is, I feel that along with this kind of creating of your own rebirth ritual, I think that also creating a pilgrimage for yourself would be a most beautiful act of honor for this evolution cycle you're going through this growth cycle, through this, you know, just self-alchemy that you have been practicing. I think that I'm a big fan of creating your own holidays, feasts, reasons to celebrate, rituals, of course, different, using loosely magical techniques, but creating your own content or focus, or, you know, I think it's important, if you have it within yourself, to really get super creative with it. You don't have to follow any rules. Just, you know, do what feels like, I mean, really, literally, you could just go on a vacation and call it your pilgrimage. But I think it would be interesting to see, like, what do you come up with? What would a pilgrimage for and to yourself look like? Where would you go? What would you do? How would you spend your time? Would you go with anyone? You know, I think that even just thinking about these things would be important, definitely. But if you have the time and means to do so, even if it's just going down the street, you know, to some park that you love, or a place that you hike, or, you know, I don't know, to the corner store to get some kind of, you know, libation for yourself, like a special oh my goodness, I'm thinking of those Arizona teas, like the mango one sounds so good right now. That would be part of my pilgrimage. But anyways, something, okay? I think that it would be, it's a good time. It's a good time to do some things for yourself, and, you know, and make them sacred, consecrate them, right? Okay, let's see. So I feel like we've really, you know, had some ups and downs recently, in the last few months, okay? And I really think that you have begun to really cross the bridge in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, okay? You're crossing over. I feel like you are really, it's like when you move into a new place and it feels so weird, right? Even though you wanted to live there and you were so excited, when you move in, it feels weird. You know, everything's new to you and you don't know how you're going to do things. And it can be a little inconvenient, a little hard to sleep. You know, you don't know where everything is exactly, but you slowly grow into it. You get things sorted and then it becomes yours. I think that you are past that super new place. You're still unpacking in your life, right? You're still figuring out where you want things, but you're feeling comfortable. You're starting to feel like this is going to be your space, your life. You're taking ownership of it all, right? And I think that is wonderful. And this next little while is going to continue to intensify. It's really just going to get better, I think. I don't see any kinds of conflict coming up. I don't think that there's really, you know, anything super negative happening. I think that you have set some firm boundaries. You've disengaged with people that had been kind of making things a little harder for you. And so I think that you are really dwelling in this peace and this power and kind of just all about you right now. And I think that's wonderful. All right. Okay. Sagittarius, I am so happy and I'm so honored to have been able to read for you tonight. I'm so sorry that my voice is getting so just, I got a little bit of a cough going. And it's funny because I don't feel sick or anything. It just, I think it's just the allergies. So I'm going to have to steam myself really good. Get some extra sleep. Maybe that'll help a little bit. And some local honey, right? I think that's supposed to be like the best. Last year, that's what we did. Got some from the farmer's market. And it really, it helped during the fall for sure. So anyways, I want to say thank you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please think about doing so. We are growing the channel one person at a time, and I appreciate every single one of you. We just passed 6K, and you know, that wouldn't have been possible without your support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you haven't, please think about it. Hit the little bell. It will let you know when the next videos are coming out. And also I want to say shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul, over there does amazing tarot readings. And he just hit 50K. So yay. Congratulations to him. And all of his lovely subscribers and supporters and stuff. You all are so wonderful. I know some of you come over here and watch too. And let's see, what else? If you would like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm, which is helping with the engagement and stuff, or the engagement helps with the algorithm. And, you know, that helps the video get out further to people. And let's see, what else? Commenting. If you want to leave a comment, you know I love hearing from all of you. You guys are so sweet. I really enjoy reading the messages. Except for the person that told me not to talk about my cats anymore. Sorry, dude. You're talking to the wrong one. We are all about cats over here. So sorry. Not gonna happen. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you're watching this one too. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will talk again very soon, Sagittarius.